Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back. My name is Trisha,
My name's Mahea.
and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. It's been a couple weeks since we've done this, but we're back, and this
Back?
is a new episode. We're back. Today we're going to be talking about the ideas of what our strengths and weaknesses are. Because this week's we try to bring up the Sunday message every week. And so this past week's message talked about how we individually should find what our strengths are and find what our weaknesses are. Because when we do that, when we find our weaknesses and develop them, then they are no longer weaknesses, but they can become strengths. And when we find our strengths and develop them, then they can be even greater and like stuff like that. So, and then after we talk about the message, then we individually took personality tests, which we thought kind of went with the message. So we'll be sharing our results from that as well. So that's kind of exciting.
Yes.
Different.
Yeah, one of these tests we've taken before. Was it? It was still this year, right? That we did take it, I think.
I think
Or last year. I don't know. Time has been a weird concept since COVID.
I know it's before COVID, because we were at a restaurant when we took this. Because it
Yeah,
was at someone's birthday dinner.
I think so. But yeah, one of
Yeah,
these
it must
tests
have
we
been
took
before
before,
COVID.
and or at least for Trisha, she had a pretty, or was it the
I had the exact same result.
Yeah, and I also had the same exact one the first time I took it as her, and then the second time had me by surprise. So I don't know if it's accurate or if I really changed since then. But yeah, we'll go over that in detail soon.
Yeah, we were saying that it's like I don't know, you changed during COVID or something.
Yeah, it got me acting different,
New personality or something.
perhaps.
But yeah, so like this Sunday message was kind of really great because it's like or at least for me, like these kinds of Sunday messages always get me emotional because it makes me think and reflect on like what really are my strengths, like what are the things I am good at. 'Cause that's something I always used to struggle with, like knowing, because like I'm good at things, but there's never been a thing that I felt like was really like my specialty or my like skill. And I grew up having a lot of hobbies and passions, but like I could never tell if those were like uniquely mine, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's like this message is all about like really reflecting on ourselves and really reflecting on like trying to really find by looking deeply at ourselves of like what really are our strengths and weaknesses. We have to find them, and also when it comes to weaknesses, like what I realize is that like a lot of times it's our weaknesses that block us from like pursuing like the good things or investing in like the good things. Like for me, one of my weaknesses I found this week was laziness, and I think it's like laziness is like blocking me and disenabling me. Is that the word?
Me too.
Like like blocking me from doing the things that I want to do or doing the things that I am good at. And so I think that's one thing that I kind of realized or felt with this week's message. About you, Maya.
Yeah, no, when you said that one word, I think it really to my heart because I think that's something or a weakness that I've always been struggling, trying to work on maybe throughout my whole life. I don't know. But yeah, laziness is, yeah, I feel like it's not something that has been easy to just completely get away, but you have to be like super motivated and just have that drive. But then again, though, acknowledging it is not a bad thing. And at least we know now, like, that it's something that we should fix and improve and better ourselves on. But yeah, like you were saying earlier too, I think it's a part of like life and growing up of finding what you're really good at or what you might not be good at, but you want to challenge yourself to do and finding that uniqueness because sometimes you might think that or you might see yourself in areas that you never would have thought you'd be like into or enjoying, which is really cool and always exciting. The more you live your life out and find these new strengths, or maybe even past strengths that you used to, um, what's the word, used to do a lot, I guess, or like even, yeah, with skills, abilities, and talents that you used to do a lot in the past, but maybe that got lost along the way. But yeah, because it was something you were passionate about before. And yeah, just based on this message about how God really blessed us with these talents and these abilities, then we shouldn't let them go to waste, but really work on those too, so that we can turn our weaknesses into strengths, and those strengths can shine even more. But yeah, I really liked this week's message too. It was super hopeful, and it made me like analyze myself a lot more, like throughout the week. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, this is what I'm good at, or I could be doing better at, which is great because it's like a reflection of like self improvement every day, which we should not only do like within this week, but of course, yeah, every day.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think it's like with weaknesses, it's like sometimes we're like, I don't know, we're like not ashamed, but like the things that we're weak in, the things that we're not like really strong in. Like when it comes to like our weaknesses, sometimes like people are worried about like how to fix them, and it's like, I don't know, it's like fixing our weaknesses is something that people, I think, definitely struggle with. It's like, how do we overcome the things that we're struggling in, the things that are like part of our personality, or things that like we've dealt with throughout our whole lives? Like, how do we overcome those things? And the message also said that like you overcome them with the positive, like with the things that you're good in. Utilize those things to also help to fix, and like first it's acknowledging the things that you're weak in. That's why he says to find the things that you're weak in as well, not just the things that you're great in, but also find the things that you're weak in, because we have to acknowledge the things that we're weak in and discover those things so that we can actually fix them. And when we acknowledge and when we make the efforts to fix them, then they become less weaknesses, and then like I said, they become like more strengths. And I think it's like when we do that, then we can shine in even greater ways. um and like talking about how doing the things that we were passionate about in the past, it's like the word said that even to show things like thanks how thankful we are for the things that God has given us, it is to use the talents and passions and stuff that has been given to us, to use them in a valuable way. Or when we do that, that's like showing like how thankful we are to have these things. um and speaking of that, that's actually what this I will be posting a video, or maybe I have posted this video by the time that this goes up. But I did a video this week where I'm going to be starting a series of videos in which I try to bring back old like hobbies and passions that I did in the past and try to do them now. And so for this week, I decided to teach myself a choreography from our friend Mariah, who's in Houston, um, a choreographer based in Houston. I contacted her this weekend, asked if I can, borrow or use one of her videos to kind of teach myself her choreography as a way to get back into dancing.
I need to see that myself.
So that will probably be up before this podcast goes up. But yeah, so it was really fun, and I think it like reminded me a lot of the things of like the things that I liked about dancing when I used to do it as a like high schooler and teen and middle school. I haven't really done much dancing since then, other than like really like last minute performances, like the week before an event, and like stuff like that, like last minute performances. But other than that, I haven't really been doing like much dancing, like outside of also like a specific type of dancing. And so this week I forgot about how much of an exercise it is, and so that was fun. And it's like I like realized more about how a dance is supposed to be like natural, how it's supposed to the moves are supposed to flow into each other, um, about how feeling the music. And Mariah does a really good job with her like nonprofit that she does, where she's connecting the word and connecting God with dance, like learning like from that and like learning her choreography. It kind of like reminded me about like why I love dancing in the first place when I was before. And so it kind of definitely went with this week's message about going like reflecting on the past, the things that we had in the past. And so I'll probably be doing like a series of videos where I do other hobbies, because I had a lot of hobbies as a younger person, as
Mhm.
a teen and high schooler. So that was fun, and I think I realized like more about myself. And I realized that like when we think back to the passions we had in the past, these things that we were strong in, there's probably, even if we don't do like, even if I weren't to pursue dancing again like as an actual thing, um there's like different like skills within each like passion, within each hobby, like the skills that we gain through our passions and hobbies, those can also be applied to maybe future things. So it's like these little things, these little passions and hobbies that we gain that God has given us, really are also part of the process of us figuring out ourselves and um, finding kind of the things again that are unique to us, and like kind of forming this like better idea of who we are as like individual, as as individual people. And I don't know, it kind of helps me to think more about what kind of person I want to be, and what kind of like things and skills I want to acquire like even more in the future, starting with now.
Mm. Yeah, when you were saying that, like a visual of like a puzzle kind of came into my head, just like how each skill and quality we gain through, like you said, the hobbies and passions that we do, like they're all interlinked and connected somehow, so that when we do connect them together, then it makes that like whole bigger picture of our unique self and that character that we can really find within ourselves. Yeah, so I feel like everything that we've learned and all of our strengths, whether from the past or present, is important, and yeah, connected in that way.
Yeah, and I think that when it comes to finding, like, it's all part of the process of like finding ourselves and making and developing ourselves. I know we talk about this all the time, which is kind of like the theme of the channel in general, but it's really all like kind of part of this process that we go through, that every single person in the world is unique and every single person is special. And God made every single person to be special in their own individual ways, and he wants us to shine in those individual ways, and to find the things that are unique about ourselves. um, but he also wants us to utilize the things that make us unique for the right reasons and for the right purposes. I think that's also an important thing, in like how we use the things that we have, and for what purpose and for who are we doing these things for. um, and I'm kind of going off tangent maybe,
Oh no,
but
yeah.
it's like the purpose is important.
Yeah, that's true. Like you want to make sure you're investing those things into the right, I guess like the right path for you to take. And as long as it surrounds you with good people and things that you like to do and what God really wants you to fulfill, then yeah. Or I think I remember another point that stood out to me is like not letting your weaknesses kind of overshadow you and let that be
Mm,
like the only thing you focus on and think of.
that's true.
Yeah, like when you become so indulged in like thinking of what you do wrong or what you could have, or yeah, what you've done wrong, then you could get like really discouraged, maybe really sad, and not so much in a good place where you can't even think of like what you're good at and what your strengths are. But yeah, because you do that, then you become easily disappointed. So I think in the same way, we shouldn't think like that to ourselves, but also with other people too, like judging people based off of their bad points. But we really want to try and see the best in other people, and also see how we could like help others with their weaknesses and making or helping their strengths and their character to shine even more. So like a mutual helping relationship with other people, but yeah, not judging people just based off of the things that they can't do well, or yeah, based off of that impression. But yeah, everyone's all trying to better themselves, and yeah, some people might be ahead of others while some people still might be stuck in that stage. But yeah, we all want to help each other grow.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that point. That's a good point that you made. Some people get so consumed in just focusing on the negative that it kind of makes it really hard to recognize the good.
Mm-hmm.
If we live just focusing on the negative, like I'm pretty sure I've expressed this in the podcast before, but like, before hearing the word, I think I was also like the type that could get discouraged very easily. I think I still do sometimes, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Where I really thought like very like lowly of myself, and like, really I don't thinking that like I don't have any skills, I don't have anything that I'm good at. I can't think of one thing that I'm good at. Like that's how I would be in the past, and it's like it's really hard to get out of that kind of state of mind, that kind of mentality that like, oh, I'm not good at anything. But God has a way of helping us to see those things within ourselves. I think it's like if we get caught up in our own thoughts and see ourselves from our own perspective, I think that's also something I've realized was that like when we look at ourselves through our own perspectives or according to our own thoughts, it we can only see ourselves to like a certain degree or a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
Like we cannot see every single thing about us. But I think if we look at ourselves through God's eyes, He who sees like everything, who created us in everything or in every way, He sees so much more potential in us than we see ourselves. Like I do things now that I never imagined myself ever doing in the past, because God gave me the opportunity to do those things, and to be in a certain position. But it's like God sees so much greater things within us that sometimes we cannot see through our own eyes. Like, yeah, we cannot really see ourselves in all of our entirety from our own eyes. So there's things that like within us that we cannot see, but God sees, and He's trying to pave a way for us to be able to acknowledge those things ourselves. But it's through His teaching and guidance that we can come to know those things. But it's only when we step outside of our own perspective to see those things, and that's something that I kind of struggled with. But I think hearing the word and like walking this path like with God and with the Lord, it teaches us to how to see things in the right perspective and how to see ourselves in a better light than we may see ourselves in. Okay, well, if we have nothing else to share, then we can go on to the personality test. So this might be really fun. I always love taking personality tests because like we learn about ourselves, and it's like, and like with Mahea's results, I'm so curious to see what kind of results that.
Yeah, I'm still not sure about it, but yeah, I think it'd be good if you go first.
Yeah. Okay. So some of the tests that we took was the one of them was the 16 personalities, which I think a lot of people have heard about, which is the Myers-Briggs one, where it gives you like a 4-letter code that's supposed to be like representative of your personality. And so for me, I got the INFP, which is a mediator personality. And so as like an introduction, I think like when I read this one, it seems like pretty accurate, like pretty on point. And like I get the same result every time I take this test, and I've taken it like 3 times, so it must be true. But I'll go to like the specific, because with this one it shows you actual like there's a tab that's specifically on your strengths and weaknesses. So I'm gonna just read that because that's the key of this episode. So my strengths are, according to this personality, the INFP strengths is I am thoughtful, generous, open-minded, creative, and passionate, and loyal to their values. So, meaning that like mediators care about other people's feelings. They adjust their actions if they think they might hurt anyone, even unintentionally. Kind-heartedness flows from their personalities, and everyone around them tends to benefit from them. That's the thoughtful. Generous, they rarely enjoy succeeding at other people's expenses. In general, people with this personality want to share the good things in their lives. They value equality, and they want to ensure that every voice is heard. Creative, mediators can often see things from unconventional perspectives. With their ability to make surprising and unexpected connections, it's no wonder that many mediators are drawn to creative pursuits in the arts, which is like pretty on point. Because like I think that's one of the people have told me that like I'm very creative, and that's like one of my key like points, I guess. And passionate. When an idea or movement captures mediators' imagination and speaks to their beliefs, they can give their whole heart to it. People with this personality type can be reserved or reticent, which is kind of true, but that doesn't diminish their strong feelings for a cause that matches their ideals. Also, they're loyal to their values. Doing the right thing isn't always easy, but their far-reaching vision can help them to stay the course. When they're doing something meaningful, these personalities can have a sense of purpose or even courage that keeps them true to their values. So, how does that sound so far, as me?
Yeah, I agree with the creativeness part. Yeah, but I feel like mostly all the points from that personality type pretty much fit you as well. So
Okay, so the weaknesses are also
very
very
accurate too.
true, a little too accurate,
Oh,
but we're here to acknowledge them and fix them.
yes.
So, the first one is overly idealistic. Mediators can take their idealism too far. People with this personality type might idolize or expect every aspect of their job to feel meaningful. This can set them up for disappointment when reality falls short of their dreams.
Bro, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I'm very idealistic. I like the idea of things more than like the reality of them.
Mm,
And that's part of what's making it so hard to find something that's like really like a career that I want.
right.
Anyways, we're acknowledging I am overly idealistic, which is true. Self-critical, yeah. Mediators can expect so much from themselves that they inevitably fall short. When this happens, they may accuse themselves of being selfish or woefully inadequate. This self-criticism can erode their motivation to get things done and their willingness to prioritize necessary self-care. Yeah, I feel like a lot of times I've always been very like self-critical of myself. And yeah, like I think we're talking about that. Like if we get so caught up in like the negative, it can really, like this one says, can erode our motivation and like willingness. Also, like yeah, the willingness to prioritize necessary self-care. I tend to like, or at least at work, I have a tendency to like overwork myself, or my manager's always constantly having to remind me to, oh, go eat something, go, get a bottle of water, go rest,
Yeah.
break. So yeah, that's that's true. Self-critical. Yes. Impractical. When something captures the imagination, they can become so consumed by it that they neglect practical matters. Yeah. Some people with this personality type even neglect eating or sleeping as they pursue their passions, as I just said. Other mediators can become so enamored with an idea that they're afraid to act on it because they might not do it perfectly. Yeah, that's true. I think I tend to, like I said, I tend to like the idea of doing things, but when it comes to like actually like practically doing it, when I get to doing it, I'm like, oh no, I don't really like this anymore.
Yeah, I feel
So it's
that.
like I fall in love with the idea of things a lot. So that is something that I need to work on. Emotionally driven, they can become so focused on their emotions that they lose track of what's really going on. It can be a challenge to slow down and make sure that their feelings aren't preventing them from clearly seeing the facts of the situation. I agree with that. I I do a lot of things based on my emotions. Conflict adverse. They generally prefer to avoid conflict. They can put a great deal of time and energy into trying to please everyone. This desire to please others can drown out their own inner wisdom and make them painfully sensitive to even constructive criticism. Yeah, I don't like conflict.
I don't think I really seen much or experienced much like where you cause conflict. I feel like yeah, you're always not the one to. So that's very
Yeah, I'm
true.
always been the type that's like, no, I'm good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like conflict. I try the hardest to like avoid conflict as much as possible.
Yeah, you don't get involved in it and you don't start it either.
Yeah, but I do also put a great time and energy into pleasing everyone,
Hmm.
or like trying to do my best to, yeah, make everyone peaceful and to stay at peace. Which isn't technically not necessarily that bad of a thing, but too much of anything is bad, I think.
That's true.
Oh, and the last weakness is difficult to get to know. Mediators are private, reserved, and sometimes self-conscious. This can make them somewhat difficult to really get to know. Their need for personal space can contribute to the guilt they feel for not giving more of themselves to those they care about. Yeah, I don't know. Am I difficult to get to know? That's not something I know of myself. I think I don't know. I think I'm a pretty private person. Like I think I only open up if I'm like really really close to someone.
Yeah, I
Like and
think
it
so.
takes time to develop that for me.
Yeah, or if like someone maybe initiates the opportunity for you to share that like part of you, then you would. But if not, then it's like
Like I wouldn't be
you
the one
wouldn't
to
share it.
openly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. Those are my strengths and weaknesses. Is there any other? I love like exploring this. There's also like a career path
Hmm.
and like work habits. Um, it's do you want to hear any of that, or should we
Yeah,
just?
could like briefly mention some
Okay,
part. Anything.
let's see. Stimming. Let's go to friendships. That sounds fun. Okay. Um, the search for kindred spirits. In looking for potential friends, mediators may find themselves drawn to people who remind them of themselves. Yeah. Specifically, they may look for people who share their curiosity about human nature and their belief in doing the right thing. That said, mediators are capable of befriending all sorts of people, which kind of, I don't know, that kind of goes against what was just said about how they're hard to get to know. But
Oh,
are capable of befriending.
mm,
Um, the combination of their intuitive and perspective traits draw them to diverse perspectives, which helps them appreciate friends whose experiences and worldviews are totally different from their own. They may actually find it invigorating to connect with someone who, on the surface, has little in common with them. Interesting. Um, a true friendship is founded on shared values, not just shared experiences.
did that hit?
Yeah. People with this personality trait type are unlikely to form strong friendships simply out of convenience. For example, while their affection for their coworkers may be strong, just working in the same office isn't enough to guarantee a substantial friendship. Deeper connections must come into play. Yeah, I think like I have like good like relations with like my coworkers, but like I'm not at the point with them that I've gone out to like outside of work to hang out.
Yeah, more like just strictly coworkers kind of thing.
Yeah, like I need more. Like it says, like just working in the same place isn't enough. I was
Mm.
like, yeah, I need like deeper connections than that. There's a career path. Yeah, many mediators long for a career that that doesn't just take care of the bills, but also feels fulfilling. They want to spend their days doing something that they genuinely love, preferably without too much stress or drama. For these personalities, an ideal professional life should feel like a calling, not just a job. Yes, I think that's something that I've been like really struggling. It's like something that can pay for the things that I need the finances for, but also something that I enjoy doing. At times, idealistic mediators might struggle to find a profession that meets their practical needs and fulfills their dreams. Alas, there is no such thing as a perfect job. The question of whether to settle for a less than ideal position can weigh heavily on people with this personality. Fortunately, mediators stand out for their creativity, independence, and sincere desire to connect with and help others. These traits can help them shine and find fulfillment in nearly any line of work. So that's helpful.
Any line of work. That's a big range of job.
I can do anything. Yeah, so there's a place for everyone. The mediators can succeed nearly anywhere, but certain fields seem to specifically be attractive to their personalities. With their curiosity and their love of self-expression, many mediators dream of becoming writers. They might write novels, seek out interesting freelance niches, or even find themselves doing communications in a corporate field. Richly imaginative, mediators can infuse even the driest of fundraising or marketing materials with new life. Mahea has seen my library. I have many books. I'm reading constantly, and I think this is very accurate. I think that was like my first thing as a child that I wanted to do was be an author. But the reality of it is like authors, it's not the most like financially stable thing, which I think was like kind of discouraging as a young person. Let's see, personalities aren't known for seeking the spotlight. They may find their life's purpose in the performing arts. Mediators are sensitive to artistic beauty, and some of them simply come to life in the worlds of music, drama, or dance. These mediators can draw from their inner depths to pull out exquisite interpretations of a creator's work. They also create their own works as playwrights, composers, and choreographers. Whatever they do, people with this personality type want to feel that their work is helping others. They might feel gratifying to work with clients face-to-face, service careers, such as massage therapy, physical rehabilitation, counseling, social work, psychology, or teaching. Here. Mediators may find it demotivating to work in high-stress, bureaucratic, or hectic environments. They may become frustrated by workplaces that are highly critical or competitive. Workplaces that reward independence tend to be a good fit, although they may appreciate some structure. Yeah, I don't do well under stress. That's one thing I know for sure. That especially like currently I work in like a like restaurant type kind of food service, and I get really stressed sometimes. It gets really hectic, and yeah, I don't think I perform well under pressure. I do agree though that I think I would benefit in a work that focuses on client, like individual, like working with individuals instead of like
a lot of people.
yeah, like I don't think I do well when it comes to like working with like or seeing like 100 faces in a day, like in a restaurant or like retail or something like that. But if I can work one-on-one with people, and like maybe just have like a couple clients a day and give my focus into those things, I think that's something that, or like maybe project-based, I think, or clientele-based, I think is something that could work for me. Oh, well, okay. So they don't need ideal conditions to thrive professionally. They want to live in tune with their values in their careers as much as in any other aspect. As long as they feel a strong sense of mission in their work, they can put up with and overcome any number of challenges. Yeah, I think that's enough of mine. I think it's pretty accurate though. Like pretty much everything's kind of a little too close, but
yeah,
it's
I
good
do
to know.
see a lot of that in you as well.
Okay, now I'm so curious about yours.
Yeah, as we mentioned, or as I mentioned before, I had the same, like the mediator as well when I first took this test, and as Trisha was going through it again, I was like, some of those still like really like closely relate to me. So I'm like, oh, that's so me too. But yeah, actually, I want Trisha to guess what personality or
I gotta
what new
guess.
personality type I might have got.
I don't even know what the letter I. You said I.
Yeah, I think on the site, like under personality types, there's okay, wait,
It's I. It's introvert, extrovert. Then
yeah, there's like
it's
the
sensitive.
analysts, the diplomats, the sentinels, and explorers. But yeah, the mediators under diplomat. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I was like, is it under explore or the
yeah,
yellow one?
yeah, it is.
It
Okay.
is. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think you could easily like cross out analysts and sentinels probably. But yeah, and then under explorers there's like four different types. There's the entrepreneur, entertainer, adventurer, and the virtuoso. Yeah, that's how you say it.
Oh. Hmm. I'm thinking it's either the virtuoso or the entertainer.
Oh, it's neither.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
the other one? The entrepreneur?
Oh no no.
Oh, what was the fourth one?
Oh, the fourth one was adventure.
Uh,
But yeah, that's the one I
um,
got.
adventure.
Yeah, so I was super shocked when I heard that. And apparently there's two types. There's the sorry, let me pull it up. There's the assertive adventurer and the turbulent adventurer. And apparently
Mhm.
I got turbulent.
Okay, I got turbulent too for mine for the
Okay. I
INFP.
was like, I'm not sure if
Turbulent.
that's a good thing or
I
maybe
think
that means like you're just more easily, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it says online like what's the difference, but I
Yeah.
forget. I
But
think
yeah.
you got the A when you did the INFP the first
Oh,
time you took the test. I
maybe.
think
I like how you remember more than me remembering my own
well,
personality.
guys, remember because it wasn't the same, like exact same as mine, and
Um,
it's only A or T. So I was like, if I
yeah,
got T, you must have gotten A.
but yeah, basically, yeah. So I didn't get mediator this time, and I was super like conflicted with my result because there's some parts that really stand out to me. I'm like, yes, that is me, and then there's some parts where I'm like, no, that's not me. But yeah, I got the ISFPT. Yeah, so that's under
I guess.
adventure.
Also, the only difference is the S, the N and S, INFP.
Oh, the first letter. Oh, no, no. The
So
second.
mine is INFP. You got
Yeah,
IS, maybe?
ISFP.
Oh yeah. So only the second letter is different.
Mm, interesting. But
I
yeah,
don't even remember what N stands for.
yeah. I was gonna say, what are those two
I think
words?
S is sensitive.
But yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Anyways, yeah. So I got adventure. I guess I'll go into, or I'll just go like touch some points on the introduction. But as is, they're happy to be who they are. Adventurers live in a colorful world inspired by connections with people and ideas. And they're all another point is that meeting is in every expression of life. The biggest challenge facing adventurers is planning for the future, and I really feel that strongly at the moment. I'm like, I'm super unsure. Yeah, actually, when I was going through the questions, there's a lot of it like you have a set plan of your future. You're planning ahead like years into the future, and I'm like, definitely not. Like, I really like I'm barely planning for like the next month. I'm kind of like just accepting what comes my way, but with the slight idea of what I want to do. But yeah, I totally agree with that one.
I
Yeah,
feel like for me, like I feel like before I was the type to plan like years in advance,
yeah,
and then my
reality.
everything went the other way.
Yeah, seriously, yeah, I feel the same.
Like
As
I
it,
had a plan, I didn't go through it, but
yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel like that. Finding, yeah, constructive ideals to base their goals on and working out goals that create positive principles is no small task. And they don't plan their futures in terms of assets and retirement. Yep. But yeah, it says they act with amazing charity and selflessness. But it can also happen that people with the adventurer personality type establish a more self-centered identity, acting with selfishness, manipulation, and egoism. So I guess that's like a different, yeah, there's like a different side too. Yeah, something I noticed when reading through this personality type is that they're really extreme people. Like they're like overly of this or, but yeah, I'll go over that when I go to the strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, so that's
Manipulative.
the adventure vibe so far. Yeah, okay, so the strengths. So the first one, it says charming. People with the adventure personality type are relaxed and warm, and their live and let live attitude naturally makes them likable and popular. I feel like maybe before I probably wasn't like that, but I don't know. Like, sorry, I'm like super like questioning this result as I go along with it, but maybe I did change.
No,
Yeah,
you're charming.
yeah, okay. Charming and then sensitive to others, adventurers easily relate to others' emotions, helping them to establish harmony and goodwill and minimize conflict. Ooh, there's that minimizing conflict part.
Yeah, I was like,
I felt from yours. I was like, oh, true. I try not to.
yeah.
Yeah, I just want everyone to be happy and
Yeah,
work
yeah.
together.
I think I see that with you.
Yeah.
You know, like
Uh, it says they're imaginative, being so aware of others' emotions. They use creativity and insight to craft bold ideas that speak to people's hearts. While it's hard to explain this quality on a resume, this vivid imagination and exploratory spirit help adventures in unexpected ways. Now, this one I am on the fence. I feel like I've always like, I mean, it's listed under strength, but I always felt like this was a weakness for me. It was not being imaginative and creative. Like I would always stick to what's it called? Like basic ideas, and then I hear like just for example for school like projects, I'd always go with like the usual, you know, like something you could find online or the common like idea. But then I'd
mm,
always be like super envious of people who could think of something completely new. I'm like, bruh, that's so creative. Like, how do you think that? So I mean,
I think you can be creative in other aspects, like when it comes to like design and like color schemes. I don't know.
possibly. Yeah, I think with like certain things I could be,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, yeah. I struggle with like thinking of like creative like ideas too, as far as like what to do. Like,
Yeah, like thinking of a super like unique idea.
yeah.
Yeah, I always like to kind of not like completely like copy paste, but like feed off of others like ideas and build off on that.
Mm.
Yeah, there's that. And then passionate. Beneath adventurous quiet shyness beats an intensely feeling heart. When people with this personality are caught up in something exciting and interesting, it can leave everything else in the dust. Okay, I do agree with that. I feel like lately, if I'm super into something, then like it's like I don't even, there's no one around me and nothing's happening. I'm just super like into what I'm doing. Yeah, that's true. They're curious. Ideas are well and good, but they need to see and explore for themselves whether their ideas ring true. Work revolving around the sciences may seem a poor match for their traits, but a boldly artistic and humanistic vision is often exactly what research needs to move forward, and they're given the freedom they need to do so, or if they are given the freedom. Yeah,
Oh,
so
that would be really conflicting because aren't you majoring in science?
yeah, I don't, sorry, I'm just like finding out new things about myself as I'm going through this. Yeah, I feel like ever since I got into like sustainable agriculture, my views have, yeah, like I've become more curious and wanting to, how do I say it, like live a better and new lifestyle and try new things. So I don't know, maybe I am an adventurer, I guess. I've changed. I'm no longer the mediator. Uh, and the last strength is artistic, is they're able to show their creativity in tangible ways and with stunning beauty, whether writing a song, painting an emotion, or presenting a statistic in a graph. Yeah, I don't think so. Visually, visualizing things that resonate with their audience. But yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's what we're saying. Like, I think you're creative with visuals when it comes to like visually. You're,
yeah.
but maybe not in idea. I don't know. I mean, you are.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think so too. Ideas are still a struggle for me. But yeah. Okay, those are the strengths. And then there's actually a lot in the weaknesses I don't really agree with. Yeah, this is the part where I was saying like there's a lot of extremes to this personality type where I'm like, I am not like that. But yeah, one of them is I like the what's it called, the adjectives they use too, but one of the weaknesses is fiercely independent. Like I do sometimes like doing things on my own, but I wouldn't say I'm like super aggressive, like stay away, I want to work on my own kind of thing. But under that, it says freedom of expression is often adventure's top priority. Anything that interferes with that, like traditions and hard rules, creates a sense of oppression for adventurer personalities, and this can make more rigidly structured academics and work a challenge. Actually, you know what? Maybe I am like but still, I feel like fiercely is too much. Like that's a extra. That word is extra, but but that is kind of true.
But yeah, it's kind of risky. I don't know.
Yeah, like it made me think of group projects. Like sometimes I like to
Yeah,
do
I thought a
things
group
a
project.
certain way, but then like if someone starts to like do something different from that way I usually do, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like I kind of like it this way better, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought of group projects too. So I
Yeah,
guess,
I always think of school when I read things for some reason.
well, you're still a student, so that's
Yeah, that's true. Another weakness is that they're unpredictable. Adventures dislike long-term commitments and plan, and the tendency to actively avoid planning for the future can cause strain in adventures, relationships, and financial hardship later in life. I don't know now. Maybe this is me. I'm like, I'm like most of these weaknesses don't are not me. Oh my god. I don't even know myself. I'm learning more about myself the more we do this, which is good. You know, the purpose
yeah,
of
it's
the
the whole
test
point
is
of it.
working. But yeah,
It's exciting.
yeah, unpredictable, man. That's like the word I would describe my future right now. I don't know what's gonna happen, but
Me too. We're in the
yeah,
same boat.
I know that makes me feel better when there's people who also are not too certain yet. Another one is that they're easily stressed. They live in the present, full of emotion. When situations get out of control, people with this personality type, especially turbulent ones, can shut down, losing their characteristic charm and creativity in favor of gnashing teeth. I guess so. I do get like easily stressed, but I wouldn't say it lasts like super long. I feel like just for that moment, and then I let it go after, or else
Yeah.
it'll like really tire me out, and I'm like,
And I
yeah,
don't think you're the type of either to shut down. And
yeah,
well, everyone maybe goes to that, but
yeah, for like a brief time, but yeah, never like for like a long time.
yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like this next one, I for sure, I don't think I could relate to, but I was talking to this about Trisha earlier, but it's the overly competitive one where they escalate small things into intense competitions, turning down long term success in their search for glory in the moment and are unhappy when they lose.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
don't think you're competitive at all. Like I'm trying to think of you in soccer, like or like in sports. We're
Yeah,
not like super, you're not like overly competitive.
right. Yeah, I was like trying to picture myself in a situation, but I feel like I only as long as I do my best, that's all that really matters to me. I don't really care about winning or losing. So yeah, that's
Yeah. You're like a healthy competitive.
Yeah, exactly. Not overly competitive, but
Yeah,
as
you're
says,
competitive enough to put in effort
yeah, and not to be like,
and to try.
yeah, exactly. Trisha, put it in the words what I want to say. But yeah, that's at least one weakness I could say that maybe isn't too true. And then the last one is fluctuating self esteem. It's demanded that skills be quantified, but that's hard to do with adventurous strengths of sensitivity and artistry. Adventurous efforts are often dismissed, a hurtful and damaging blow, especially early in life, and adventurers can start to believe the naysayers without strong support. I feel like before it used to be like, yeah, I used to feel that way strongly. Like, oh, if someone were to say I'm not good in something, then I really take that like to the heart. Like, dang, I'm terrible at this. But I think like you mentioned it too. But um, like now, I don't feel that way as much anymore. But we do have like those moments where we are do or we don't feel like super confident in ourselves. But yeah, definitely not as like to that extreme of where we are super discouraged and yeah, let down. And that's thanks to the messages and the word, to be honest. I feel like that's really helped pull us through times like that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the strengths and weaknesses. It's very um surprising to me to read through in detail. When I was like,
It's
oh,
just
that's
funny because it's like when you first read them, you're like, oh, like I don't think these are any, and then you read it in detail, and you're like, oh, maybe.
yeah, maybe that is. Sometimes I wonder if it's like, I don't know, just our minds like trying to make ourselves fit in it or if it's really true. But I think they do like relate to us to some degree. Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, I was reading the workplace habits earlier, and there was one part where I was like,
Yeah.
that is true. But yeah, under that it says the position that feels most unnatural to adventurers is management. I always, oh my god, I was like, bro, this is so true. Like, whenever, if the opportunity of like ever gets brought up to me, like, oh, do you want to be a shift lead or a manager? I'd be like, no, I'll stay as I am. Yeah, they are not a domineering personality type and take no joy in exerting control over others, planning long term goals, or disciplining unsatisfactory behavior. But just because it feels a little strange doesn't mean adventure personalities aren't good at it. Yeah, like I'm totally fine with where I'm at. Like I don't want to like
Honestly, I'm the same. I think.
yeah. Yeah, I was
Like,
thinking maybe you would or you would feel that way too.
yeah, I'm not really a big um responsibilities. Like, I
Yeah,
like
putting
too much
yourself
of it.
in a position where you have like so much to look over or take charge of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, then again, you never know like how your life will go. It
Yeah, honestly.
I think we still have to be open to like what ways like our life could go.
That's true. Yeah. Like even if we might not see ourselves, yeah, like we were just mentioning this so many times before, but how we never saw ourselves, sorry, being interested in like something or doing this thing in the future, but we're doing that now. So yeah, like you said, you never know like what the future might hold. Who knows? I could become a manager. I don't know. Right now, it
Yeah.
doesn't seem likely, but yeah, just let um,
Just like
fate take
God.
the wheel. Yeah, God take the
Yeah.
wheel.
Yeah, even I think it was mentioned in the words this week or in some message I heard where it's like we shouldn't be people who say no to what God has planned.
Yeah.
Like if God inspires you to do something, we shouldn't be people that say no,
Hmm.
but we should be open to whatever, God has in store. You
Yeah.
know, we're scared even if we don't feel like we're ready, even if we feel like, oh, that's not really for me. That's not. Like, I don't really see myself doing that. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe if we're more open, we can discover more things, like more capabilities that we might have that we didn't think at first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that always, or I always try to remind myself of that too, that everything happens for a reason, even if at the time it might not seem something like you really want to do, but like you said, like God does things because he really wants to bring the best out of us. So it could be something that is like the best opportunity for us to shine even more.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and then under career paths, there was one part I read that reminded me of you. I was like,
Okay.
maybe I don't know something, but yeah. It says when it comes to the career world, adventurers need more than just a job. Wealth, power, structure, advancement, and security are all lesser goals to adventure personalities' greatest need, which is creative freedom. And they crave a tangible outlet for their imagination and a chance to express themselves artistically. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, reading that, expressing myself artistically was like maybe as a hobby, but then I'm not too sure yet about like career wise, but yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, there's one part, it says, adventurers are natural artists, musicians, and photographers, as well as designers of all stripes. Setting up shop on websites like Etsy is far more alluring to adventurers than the confines of a 9 to 5 administrative work in some fluorescent cubicle. Just the Etsy part, I was like, oh, Trisha. Yeah, Trisha made one for her arts and crafts
Yeah,
works. Yeah, that part for some reason when I just saw that word, it's like I thought of you.
that's funny.
Yeah, but it just goes over a lot about um, expressing their artists or expressing their art and having freedom in that, not being ordinary and just like trying out a lot of new things. Like life's too short for us to bore ourselves.
Wait, I'm trying to look back on my workplace habits since you brought up management.
Yeah, I
Um,
wonder. I feel like yeah, I wonder if it's kind of similar in a way.
Let me see. Let's see, mediators want to feel a sense of purpose in their work wherever they find themselves on the job ladder. People with this personality value harmony, and they try to find emotional and moral connection to their work. Um, can be extremely dedicated and considerate employees. They take pride in being honest and doing the right thing in all circumstances.
Yes, you.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people tell me that like I'm very like kind of determined and like hardworking, like in the sense of like if I set my mind on something, I'll do it, like no
Mm,
matter what. Um, and yeah, I like doing like when it comes to work, I tend to be honest and you know if I mess up, I tell my manager, oh, I messed
yeah.
up. Um, they also feel gratified by pleasing others from their bosses to their customers. Yeah, feel motivated when they're thinking of ways to help others, not worrying about checklists or bottom lines. This explains why praise and positive feedback can make them light up. On the flip side, criticism can lead media to shut down.
Mm,
Faced with punishing expectations or a highly negative boss, they may find it hard to get things done. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my manager's great, so I don't know.
yeah, you didn't have to experience that.
As employees, they enjoy having freedom and latitude. They like to use their creativity rather than just do as they're told. That said, they tend to benefit from deadlines and clear expectations to keep them on track. Really? I benefit from deadlines? I don't know. I mean, well, actually, yeah. It reminds me of school because, like, when we had school assignments and like we'd have deadlines, I actually worked better like
Okay.
closer to that deadline.
Yeah.
I'd have like some of my best papers were written like 2 or 3 days before. And like it used to always like confuse my mom. She'd be like, how are you able to write, like do all your tasks the night before? I'm just like, that's where I feel like the most motivated to do it.
Yeah,
So actually, yeah, I guess maybe I do
that's
benefit
true.
from deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
I get more of a push to do the work if I have a set deadline.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people with this personality type might get caught up in perfecting their ideas rather than accomplishing tasks. Yeah. They generally don't enjoy hierarchies. They like to promote equality. And their ideal professional environment is one where everyone feels valued and is encouraged to share their ideas.
Hmm.
Yeah. They can be private, but they're probably not, so they're not the social butterfly of the workplace. Yeah. I'm not a very social person.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a social butterfly. They don't like conflict, drama, or workplace politics. Yep. Yeah, mine doesn't say anything about, oh wait, mediator managers. Oh, I have a whole paragraph.
Oh,
As a manager, mediators are among the personality types least likely to act as if they're in charge.
yes.
They respect their
We're the
employees
same
as
in that.
full-fledged humans. Huh?
I was just saying we're the same in that.
Yeah. They respect their employees as full-fledged human beings, not just as workers. Yes, we're
Yeah,
people.
I'm glad you're human. You act like a good human being. That you treat your coworkers like
As
people
human.
and not just workers. I hope everyone thinks that way.
Yeah. Rather than make all the decisions themselves, they often ask to hear their employees' thoughts and opinions. That's true. I don't like making decisions on my own. I
Yeah,
like to hear everyone's opinion.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I agree with that. I see that.
um, in general, we don't micromanage. Instead, they keep their eyes on the big picture. They see it as a responsibility to support their employees, not to tell them exactly what to do and how to do it.
Hmm.
And then, whenever possible, they encourage the people who work for them to develop their own ideas and use their own best judgment. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a good manager.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I see that. Like you don't tell people like how to, or like you're not super adamant with how people do things, but you try to help them fulfill that in their own way or with your support. Um, oh, I forgot. There's that one part you read, but
I don't micromanage, or
it's
are
like a
you?
little bit after that.
They see it as their responsibility to support their employees, not tell them exactly what to do and how to do it. They encourage the people who work for them to develop their own ideas and use their own best judgment.
Yeah, I guess that just has to go with what I said earlier. Yeah, how you like to try and bring the best out of people. Yeah.
Oh, oh, wait, wait, wait. There is a downside to this management style. Oh, no.
Mm.
Sometimes mediators may struggle to set boundaries, drill down on inefficiencies, or offer criticism, even when it's necessary. They can slow down their team and create needless stress, both for mediators and for their employees. At times, managers with this personality type may need to be strict for the good of their team. Oh, yeah.
Mm,
I'm not the strict type. I don't
yeah,
know how critical side.
yeah, I see that.
So, but yeah, like I don't really see myself as a manager type. Or if anything, like maybe in the future, like I like do my own business, but I don't know if I have
How
workers
people work, yeah, under.
under. Yeah,
Oh.
like that reminds me of like when I used to major in audio, and like in like the later classes, like towards the end of the program, we'd be the ones running our session, like our recording sessions. So we would have some of the newer students in the programs be like our assistants to like, and like it was like as the one running the session, I had to be the one to delegate to tell them what to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I really didn't like that.
Mm,
I didn't like the idea of having people work for me.
yeah.
So that just reminded me of that. Like I didn't like the idea of delegating like tasks to others.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to tell them to like set up the mics or something like that, like the stands, or to re-angle, and like yeah, I didn't like the idea of having assistants.
Yeah, having that kind of authority over
Yeah,
people
and
too.
like telling them what to do. Like
Wow, we learned about a lot
learning.
about each other and our own selves during this test result.
Yeah. We also took another test, which is the anagram test, where they give you like a number that's like your strongest personality from 1 to 9. What was your number?
So the number or like the highest match number I got, which was like a 98% match, I had type 2.
Oh,
What
interesting.
did you get?
I got type 9.
Oh, I was saying that maybe I might have got the same, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna get a 9, but
9 was 75% for me. What was 2 for yours?
I'm not too sure what my
Oh, the
percentage.
percentage. But 9
I
was
just saw that it was 9 was the biggest one.
mm. So what is type 9?
So type 9, I'm going through my tabs. I had to go to like a separate site to get the actual like overview of it.
Yeah.
So type 9 is the peacemaker.
Mm. I already agreed with that with you.
Nines are accepting, trusting, and stable. They are usually creative, optimistic, and supportive, but can also be too willing to go along with others to keep the peace. They want everything to go smoothly and be without conflict, but they can also tend to be complacent, simplifying problems and minimizing anything upsetting.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, they typically have problems with inertia and stubbornness.
Mm.
And my family tells me I'm stubborn. At their best, indomitable and all-embracing, they are able to bring people together and heal conflicts.
Yeah, I feel like this is a nice like overview of pretty much like the mediator from the 16 personality test.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It fits, it connects with both tests. I feel like
Yeah.
it's pretty true.
So we have called personality type 9 the peacemaker because no type is more devoted to the quest for internal and external peace for themselves and others. They are typically spiritual seekers who have a great yearning for connection with the cosmos as well as with other people. They work to maintain their peace and mind, just as they work to establish peace and harmony in their world. Um, the issues encountered in the 9 are fundamental to all psychological and spiritual work. Being awake versus falling asleep to our true nature. Being a separate self, an individual who must assert herself against others is terrifying to 9s. They would rather melt into someone else or quietly follow their idyllic daydreams. So yeah, so no conflict whatsoever,
Yeah,
basically.
no conflict. Yeah, that came up a lot.
Yeah,
Or that
I
makes
just don't
sense
like
with the
conflict or drama.
yeah, that makes sense with the title of Peacemaker. Yeah.
Um, they focus on the bright side of life so that their peace of mind will not be shaken.
Mm.
Optimistic, reassuring, supportive, have a healing and calming influence, harmonizing groups, bringing people together, a good mediator, synthesizer, and communicator. All I'm getting is that I don't like conflict. I
Yeah.
avoid conflict by all means, even to the point of running away or ignoring it.
It's like once you see conflict, you're like, nope,
I'm out of there.
over there.
Which is true, actually. If there's any like fight, I tend to walk away. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want. Unhealthy levels. Do I want to read that?
Are you
Um,
by chance reading off of the Enneagram Institute website?
yeah,
Okay, okay. I was just making sure we had the same site.
yeah.
Cool.
Um, mm.
Yeah, I see a thing with addictions as well, so I was like,
Yeah, I see that. I'm like, what's that? Addictions, overeating or undereating due to lack of self-awareness and repressed anger. Anger. I'm not angry. Lack of physical activity.
what is it?
What is going on? Okay, no. Anxiety. Okay. Personal growth recommendations. Oh, that's cool. They give you like recommendations on how to do personal growth.
Yeah, I see that.
See, exert yourself. Force yourself to pay attention to what is going on. Do not drift off or tune out people or daydream. Work on focusing your attention to become an active participant in the world around you and try to become more mentally and emotionally engaged. Exercise frequently to become more aware of your body and emotions. Okay. I mean, I know I don't exercise enough. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. What is the 2 like?
Oh yes, type 2. Yeah, so on the test result it says it's described as the giver. Twos want to be liked and find ways that they can be helpful to others so that they can be loved and belong. It says they're the caring interpersonal type. They're generous, demonstrative, people pleasing, and possessive. Yeah, so the vibe I'm getting from mostly from type 2 is that they look for a lot of like for people to, I guess, like them or admire them in a way. But yeah, they also like, or I'll let the description explain itself. It says twos are empathetic, sincere, and warm-hearted. They're friendly, generous, and self-sacrificing, but can also be sentimental, flattering, and people-pleasing. They are well-meaning and driven to be close to others, but can slip into doing things for others in order to be needed. They typically have problems with possessiveness and with acknowledging their own needs. At their best, they're unselfish and altruistic.
I've heard of that word for.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm about to real quick look that up.
I don't remember what it means. I've heard that word before. Altruistic.
Oh, basically, you're, I guess, concerned for the well-being of others.
Wouldn't that be more empathy?
I
Is
think,
that like
yeah,
that has to do
like,
with empathy?
yeah, pretty much. I feel like they're all like synonyms of each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, their basic fear is being unwanted, unworthy of being loved, and then their basic desire is to feel love.
Oh, we're looking into those two. I
Yeah,
saw those. I skipped that.
yeah, which I guess is true, but I don't feel it like, I don't know. Maybe I do.
What was yours? Your basic fear and
Yeah.
basic desire?
Oh, basic fear was being unwanted, unworthy of being loved, and then my basic desire is to feel loved. So basically, just feeling love is what I
So you
desire.
fear not being loved, and
Being unwanted.
your desire is to have love.
Yeah, which I guess in a way is true. Like I always want to be or feel helpful to others, like I'm doing something for them and not like I'm worthless or hopeless. But yeah, um, let's see. Yes, they are the people of this type are either the most genuinely helpful to other people, or when they are less healthy, they are the most highly invested in seeing themselves as helpful.
So
Mm.
you want to make sure you see yourself
Oh,
as helpful.
yeah. So I guess like, yeah, when you're not feeling like at your best, that's when or this type, they become like super invested in like wanting to make people see themselves as helpful. So I guess kind of overdoing it.
Or you want to appear helpful.
Yeah, I think that's what that's trying to say. But
Interesting.
there's one part I read, I was like, oh, true. It was under the personal growth recommendations. It was saying how if you're not addressing your own needs, it is highly unlikely that you'll be able to meet anyone else's needs without problems, underlying resentments, and continual frustration.
Mm.
I always felt that way. Like if I haven't like figured myself out first, then there's no way I won't be able to, help others like better themselves too. If I still like haven't gotten there yet myself, I was kind of felt,
Yeah.
yeah, like okay, I should work on myself before giving like advice to people about um, making themselves too. Other like personal growths was like trying to become more conscious of your own motives when you decide to help someone. So making sure, I guess, you're doing things for people for the right reasons, not because you expect something in return.
Mm.
I'm
Do you
trying
feel like you do things for?
yeah, I'm trying to think if there has been. I mean, no, I feel like for the most part, I do it because like I want that person to feel better and to be happy, not because like, oh, if I do this for them, then they're gonna give me this and that. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think you're that type.
yeah. I hope I won't be. But yeah, not have underlying motives. Um, oh, while there are many things you might want to do for people, it is often better to ask them what they really need first.
Mm.
Yeah,
So it's like don't assume that you know what they need. You
yeah,
know, ask them.
I can see that. Yeah, sometimes I just want to like give, and be like helpful to that person, but maybe it's not. It might be too much for them, or it might not even be something they need.
Might not be the right help that they need.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, putting the words in my mouth. Also, resist the temptation to call attention to yourself and your good works. After you've done something for others, do not remind them about it. Let it be.
I don't think you do that.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, I guess I don't
Don't
know.
remind people of your good deeds. Like you
Hey,
know.
remember that one time I did this for you? Like, oh my god, aren't I so nice? That's like a really, what's the word? Uh, what kind of person that is. Like I don't know, like someone who's on their like, high horse, or they think they're like really
Mm.
better than people because of that. But yeah, I mean, maybe I would like call sometimes, but I don't do it to um like show off or anything or call
Mm.
attention to it. Yeah. Yeah, the last one or recommendation is says learn to recognize the affection and good wishes of others, even when these are not in terms that you are familiar with. Although others may not express their feelings in a way that you want, they may be letting you know in other ways how much they care about you. I think that's somewhat true. Maybe like there might be some people who express their care to me in ways I might be like, oh my god, they don't
Yeah, you might not
care.
recognize it as.
Yeah, but in reality, they actually do. It's just maybe they didn't express it in like a really clear way that I could understand. But yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Both. Yeah. Both tests are pretty true. I feel like yeah, I relate to this one a lot more than the 16%. But
Yeah, I feel like I related more to the 16 personalities.
that's so funny. We're like,
I mean, well, mine are basically kind of similar.
yeah, that's true. The um, yours is the peacemaker and then the mediator. Yeah, they're pretty much like connected.
Yeah, we're going back to like my basic stuff because I think I skipped that part. The basic fear and basic desire.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I feel like your
so for
fear is
my
conflict.
what?
Oh, I was saying, I feel like your the fear would be conflict. Let's see if I'm right.
No, it's actually
Oh,
not. It's weird. It's so it says my basic fear is of loss and separation, and
hmm,
my basic desire is to have inner stability or peace of mind.
hmm,
So I'm like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I
that's
think
true.
everyone fears loss.
Yeah,
Basic fears of loss and separation.
yeah. I feel like if you're always trying to make peace or have things good, but then like if that doesn't work out, then you feel like that big sense of like you lost something, or in a way, yeah. I think it ties in with wanting peace and yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, there's some examples of people with this type.
Oh, I
Did you
see.
have that?
There's a lot of people I
Yeah,
don't.
I have a lot of people. Oh, people you don't know?
Some of them, yeah.
What are some of
Oh,
yours?
or some of the ones that I do know: Dolly Parton, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie. They're like the singers. Um,
Huh?
yeah, and I don't know anyone else.
Or what's one name you don't recognize?
Paramahansa Yogananda.
Okay, no, I don't know. Wait,
um,
is there other names that you don't know? I might know. Maybe no.
I chose like the most. That's like the first name under examples. So I'm like, let's see. There's Elizabeth Taylor, Danny Thomas, Jennifer Tilly, uh, Bishop Desmond, Eleanor Roosevelt, Byron Katie. There's a Pope,
Yeah,
Pope John. Yeah, I think it's
interesting.
like a lot of actors or singers. What about yours?
I do recognize a lot of the names of mine.
Oh,
A lot of musicians I see.
mm,
Um, such as or well, here I'll go from some of the bigger names. Queen Elizabeth II,
mm,
Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, some presidents,
mm,
Walt Disney, Carl Jung, who's like I know he's like a psychologist, like a famous psychologist. Ringo Starr, Carlos Santana, Janet Jackson, Janet Jackson, Jack Johnson,
mm,
Morgan Freeman, Whoopi Goldberg, um, Lisa Kudrow, she's from Friends,
mm.
um, Mr. Rogers,
Oh.
and Homer and Marge Simpson.
They even have cartoon characters. Wow,
Interesting.
yeah, yours had a lot of more familiar people.
Yeah, I got some people from the Beatles,
Yeah, it's like a wide range of
Johnson,
examples.
presidents, Queen. Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
More validation on some things that I was wondering about myself.
Yeah, it's true. Like, what would you really do in situations? And we find out more about maybe what we could really or what we don't really see ourselves doing. But yeah, I feel like I have a better sense of
I feel like you learn about yourself.
yeah, a lot
You
actually.
learn
I
stuff.
guess it's just a good thing to do. Maybe I needed it. So
Yeah,
unsure of myself, but
and I think it's like in reading these things, it's like having the words in front of us and like reading the words, it like
different.
brings to mind and like makes you think about like things, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess I do that, or I do feel like that.
Mm,
Like
yeah,
those
it's a
are the
good
things that I have.
self-reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, like what you said, we need to have it like written out for us to really like see that within ourselves. Something, yeah, like going way back to when we were talking about the message, like seeing ourselves from different angles. Sometimes we can't really see ourselves in a specific type of light, but I feel like yeah, these personality tests really help that. I was thinking it'd be cool to like throughout like over time like take these from time to time and see like if we ever
Okay.
do the same, yeah, because I guess we do what was just like I
It
was
was,
a mediator.
it was so weird because every time I take this test, I get the same result.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it again later
Oh,
to confirm.
yeah, like I was hoping to get something else, but I'm just a mediator.
Which is a good thing to
I mean,
mediate.
yeah, it fits. So I feel like on the creative side, it fits, and like conflict is definitely one of
Yeah.
my biggest things that do not like with the peacemaker. I avoid conflict at all costs.
Yeah.
Because I just want everyone to be happy and for everything to work out. The drama, please.
Oh, yes, this is a content packed podcast this week.
Yeah, this is probably our longest episode too. So yeah, that's all we have for this podcast episode. It's a fully packed episode. So I hope that in watching us learn about ourselves, it motivates some of you to also, I don't know, we should all take personality tests and then learn about ourselves.
Yeah.
um, Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, like finding more about yourself and just feeling like you have a more secure future. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking for myself since it was talking about future in minds, but yeah, you just feel more, I want to say confident, and you know like what you really need to work on or what you can really use. Once again, going back to like strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, I think you can learn a lot about that through taking personality tests.
Yeah. Okay, well, I hope everyone enjoyed this podcast episode. Stay tuned for the rest of the video series where I try to do other hobbies. Um, check out the dance video if you haven't. Check out Mariah's channel if you haven't. I will have her stuff linked in. She's a choreographer I mentioned earlier who I learned from. Yeah, so check out her stuff. She's really great, and she's like I said, she brings the word and dance together. So it's a way to help people to make that connection. Yeah, so stay tuned for the next podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.